the ending of, I always got in trouble over this, love. And I would knock on the door, and a lady would be there, and I said, what you need is someone that will not beat you, curse you, yell at you, take all your money, put you down. What you need is someone that will always love you and care for you and forgive you no matter what. I said, you need true love. Now, they just assumed it was me, and it was not me. I was talking about the Lord Jesus Christ.
Right.
So, the man in chapter 21, when he was a slave, after being there for 6 years, or maybe even before, decides he's in love with his master, his wife, and his children. And to prove it, he goes before the judge and he tells his master, I want to be your servant for the rest of my life. Now, if we went back to the Jewish ways of slavery, 6 years you work, 1 year you get released. After 6 years, that's the year of Jubilee, everybody is released. We would end poverty. So let's say a guy decides, I'm going to be your butler, but you got to pay me $12,000 a year, and plus you got to feed me, give me a place to stay, buy my clothes or whatever I need during the year, and the $12,000 goes into a special government program. At the end of the 5 years, I now have 6 years. I now have $72,000. And I've worked for you, okay, for nothing. Not one nickel. I didn't go to a movie. I didn't do anything. I'm talking about poor people, poverty. People that have no money. That would end those that are on welfare. They actually have to work. Problem is, it's such a great idea, nobody wants to do it. Rich people don't want to do it. They're afraid the poor are going to steal from them. The poor don't want to do it because they got to work. And when they do get the money, all they're going to do is blow it. Instead of buying a cheap house and living in it or whatever, getting an education, they're in the same boat. They do not know how to take care of themselves. There will always be the poor. Jesus Christ said, the poor you shall always have. It was a prophecy. The people did not realize that. At that time, we thought by the year 2017, we would get rid of poverty. We have not. Does that mean we go back to the Jewish ways of doing slavery and sell yourself to a family and let them take care of you? And then when you leave, you get stuff. They provide for you something to start your life over again. It would help. $72,000 is a lot of money. $50,000 is a lot of money after working 6 years. And they buy your clothes and they feed you, and you say, well, I don't like what they feed me. Well, that's because you're spoiled rotten and you're not poor. But a poor man that can't get one meal a day, he'd be happy. He'd be happy to work. Problem again is it's too logical. It is so logical, it makes sense. You say, what would we do with the money? We put it in a government program, put it in the bank. The money, the interest, all the money that's being collected would go for the deficit and help pay the deficit. And the government can then bring down its bills. Again, way too easy. Can't do it that way. So instead, we're going to continue giving our credit card out until we max it out, and we have inflation. Does anybody? See, you're still young. You don't know the days when we would have to pull up and hopefully they would have gasoline. You get, it was Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from A through, I forgot what letter. And then the last part to the last part, the first 13 letters, and the last 13 letters, it was Tuesday, Thursday, and it was Saturday. Sunday, nobody sold gas. Because there was a shortage. You say, I can't believe there was a shortage of gasoline. There was a shortage.
Yes.
I was so mad because I got in Shamrock first. They had just opened up and it was my day. I pulled in there. I said, here's $100. Fill it up. I don't have change. See, y'all don't know those days. You don't know the days where there was hardly any money, where we had to scrounge to make things work, to put clothes on you, to make food for you. We bought cheap food, cheap clothes. We did everything we possibly could to help you. Why? Because we loved you. A man that loves God this much is willing to give his entire life and say, I'm going to work for you as hard as I can for the rest of my life, me and my family. Now that's a very good master. What a tremendous... Can you imagine finding someone that you love that much? I'm talking not about God, I'm talking about a man or about a mate, someone that you really love, that you're willing to work for. And say, I love you, and I ain't never going to leave you.
Amen. Amen.
And once that slave got that thing on him, that was it. It was over. He couldn't, if he ran away, they couldn't take it off and say, okay, well, you're not a slave anymore. It was a done deal. Once you made up your mind, that was it. If they had a thing called commitment back in those days. Morality. There is no such thing as commitment. Finishing it to the end. We want someone else to take care of our problems. Now, I personally blame myself and my wife because we have pretty much spoiled you. And we have made sure that everything was taken care of. All the little things were always taken care of. But one day, you will actually have to learn to take care of yourself.
No.
Your own little old family. All right, let us continue. Exodus chapter number 22. What a great love. What a great love story. Now we get down to the nitty-gritty. God is very particular on His laws. Stealing an ox or sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep. Why? Because you stole his ox and you stole the sheep, so you got to pay 4 times more. You know why? God already put in His 10 Commandments, thou shalt not steal. But if you do it, guess what? You get caught. We're going to make you pay for it, buddy. We're going to make you pay for it. If a thief breaks in, verse 2, and he dies, there shall be no blood shed for him. Remember the sacrifice. But if the sun be risen upon him, then you can have a sacrifice. That's verse number 3. And that way you can have one more sacrifice for his sin. He needs that. He really needs that. Amen. If a thief be certainly found in his hand alive, whether it be ox or ass or sheep, he shall restore. Now, notice, double. First time it was 5 to 4 times more. Why? Because he killed him. This time, it's got to be twice as much because it's still alive. He found it. He got caught. He was thieving. But it was still alive. The guy said, we'll just make you pay twice as much. You say, why can't God just make one simple rule? He did. Thou shalt not steal. But these are variable parts. The Old Testament was full of variable parts. Life has a lot of variable parts. Do you know which new laws are going to go into Texas this year?
No texting.
No texting, that's right.
Next week.
Starts next week. You text, you get a ticket.
Up to a $200 fine.
You say, why? The public is tired of cars weaving in and out and accidents happening because people are on their phones. They even took off on the features on the Android where you can't talk to it and let it text for you. This is, Lupe, I'm running late. I'll be there to the office as soon as possible. Thank you. Send. I can't even do that. No texting. New laws. Variables. Variables of, what's the simple law? Keep the speed limit, drive safe. How hard can it be?
Amen. Amen.
But there's variables. There's always going to be variables. If a man shall cause